Okay, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to do one more episode.
That's it. This is our last episode. Listeners, this is our final episode ever of SmartLess. Right before we do the next one.
That's right. Okay. But this is it. This is the last one.
This is it for
the next one.
This one.
Goodbye until the next one.
When does it start?
It's going to start right now. So hello.
And goodbye.
Hello. No, hello.
Until the next one. It's an all-new SmartLess. Until the next one.
SmartLess.
SmartLess.
What time is it there, Sean? It's dinner?
It's 5:30 p.m. 5:30. I just ate. I had a piece of cod, and I had some potatoes and some asparagus.
So cod, that's British. That's what they do the fish and chips with, right?
Fish.
That's right. I had cod. But before that, I had a cinnamon roll. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah, of course. That's British for American food. Hey, do you... Are you just moving dinner earlier and earlier into the day? What's happening?
Well, I do have. It's funny because my day kind of starts now because LA is just waking up. So
meanwhile, you've done a full day of rehearsal already.
Yeah, and some interviews in the morning and radio, like photo shoot.
But aren't you?
When you say your day starts, what are you doing?
Yeah. So after this, then I go. I'm writing something for something.
Wait,
and
hang
then
on. What do you?
I know. I don't want to say it.
So are you trying your hand at screenwriting or writing a play or?
No, we're kind of talking it out and writing what the characters are, the development, like the outline and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will, does it taste good?
How does it sound?
Fuck.
Sorry, I forgot.
The gum.
We're doing an audio show.
I know. Who was it? Who was the person who said, somebody said to me once, hey man, can you turn your gum down?
That's a good one.
That was so good.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I forgot.
And Will, you're just getting started over there. No, actually, you're in your midday right now.
I'm midday. I was up this morning at 5:45.
Don't need to brag.
Isn't that wild? L.A., New York, London.
So, Will, what's
time.
wild? Tell me what's wild about it.
Yeah.
Different time zones?
Talked about how wild. Let's talk about how wild it is, Sean.
I have,
Wait, Sean. No, sorry. What is it? It's Will. What did you do since 5:30? That you're 7 hours into your day.
So I woke up this morning. I did my Octordle Wordle Quirtle that you used to be a part of with our old buddies, and
you're still doing that.
I'm still doing it every morning.
I love it.
And then I did a hot cold. I did a sauna, and then I did a cold plunge for a few minutes. Okay. Then I went to my morning
meeting.
Yep.
Very good.
With all my peeps. Had a little coffee, came back, drove Able to work, came back, worked out, and now I'm here. Had quickly something to eat, now I'm here. So I've had, a pretty full day.
When did you shower?
Oh, fuck, I knew there was something.
Yeah,
I knew. I'm going to do it after because it's just me in this stinky little booth.
No, but I
didn't have time. I didn't have time. I literally just finished. I went upstairs. I had some leftover chicken salad.
All I'm figuring out from this is that the workout was light.
It was not light. I'll guarantee you.
Well, then why haven't you showered? You weren't a sweaty fucking mess.
Of course I wasn't. I didn't have time. I didn't want to be late because we have a great guest.
All right.
Today.
But wait.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Get into it then.
No, get into it.
I do have a great guest. I do have a great guest. You guys are going to be really thrilled. And so is, our audience already knows because they looked at the thing when they logged on.
Sardinos, what?
Episode. Our audience already knows. Sardino. Is your hearing going with your hair? What's happening?
That's what happens. And the knees and the hips.
Our guest today, he has built a career out of portraying some of the most unique and unforgettable characters in recent cinema. He's one of these guys who has
Al Pacino. Burt Reynolds is still around.
McConaughey's coming back.
He literally just said one sentence.
All better. I think our guest is laughing at how absurd that is. Al Pacino out of the blue. That haven't even named him. He's been nominated for Golden Globes. He's been Spirit Awards,
Pierce Brosnan
Critics Awards. Oh my God. You know him. And he's done it all in television and film. Some of the great Boardwalk Empire.
Steve Buscemi, get him out here.
Sopranos. Reservoir Dogs. Steve Buscemi. God, you guys wouldn't let me finish for fuck's sake.
Well, you've got to bury. You should have started with.
You can't name his stuff because once you start naming everything he's done, you're like, oh yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Start with some of the voiceover stuff. You would have kept us in the dark.
Well, if I'd started with the animated movies, you're right. Like
one of the greatest voiceover artists next to Will Arnett.
That's right.
Oh, that's saying something. Thank you.
That's saying very little.
Monsters University.
Yeah, there you go. I know.
Right?
Wait,
he knows.
What about Igor?
Oh, Igor, right.
Sean, Igor. Come on.
We've worked together a lot. I've never really...
Wait, what was Igor? No, I don't know if I knew Igor.
It was an animated film from 17,000 years ago.
Okay.
John Cusack.
Yeah.
Played Igor.
Jennifer Coolidge, Molly Shannon. Yeah.
And Sean, you played...
What a cast.
Brian. You were the brain, but you spelled it wrong.
No, so my name is Brian. Right.
Boy, if he was the brain, you guys were in trouble.
I always challenge myself on that.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, welcome to SmartLess. God, it's good to have you here.
Much.
This is great.
This is fantastic.
I'm such a massive have-been like everybody else of what you do because you do so much different stuff. You are you're such a it's amazing, and so just to have you out here is I got to say kind of a thrill.
Thrilled to be here, guys.
Not
Thank
bigger
you so
than
much.
me. I'm really agassed right now. This is fantastic.
I know. I'm a little.
That I'm not Al Pacino. Is that it?
How lucky are we? We're so
sorry,
fucking
Sean.
lucky.
Yeah, well,
Jesus.
look, it was a shot in the dark. It was a shot in the dark.
Steve, where do we find you? Where's that beautiful orange room you're in?
I'm in the Netflix building in New York.
Okay.
Oh, hence the red background.
Yeah, I'm
orange.
in
Adjust your
sort of a soundproof room.
Yeah, either that or the set of Squid Game.
I was going to get to this, but we can mention it early on. You're working on it. You got your Netflix show is coming out soon, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Is the name of the show. It's not coming out.
That's the name of the name of the. It's the second season of the Addams Family show. Wednesday. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Which has been a huge success. Huge
I
success.
love the first season, and I'm really excited that they cast me in the second season. I played the new principal of Nevermore. It's the boarding school that Wednesday attends.
I see. Yeah. Nice. Well, you'd make a great principal. I don't know. Hey,
I think I do. Yes.
Steve, so we always ask people like how they got started, whatever. I've always wanted to know, what was a young Steve Buscemi like? When you were a kid, were you like 7 years old, you wanted to be an actor, or
kind of?
Because I know that you started with a different career professionally before you started acting.
What was it?
Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, like all of us, I watched a lot of TV, and it was everything. It was like the Three Stooges, which Sean, I have to say, man, you played.
This was a picture.
I can't believe you got to play
Talk
Larry.
about a stooge. This guy was a perfect stooge. Type casting.
Three Stooges were big in my house, in my apartment in East, not my apartment, in the apartment I lived in East New York, Brooklyn. The Little Rascals, and shows like that. And then, but also, like the afternoon movie that was on at like 4 o'clock, like that would show all these gangster films, So I was a big fan of Cagney and Bogart and all those films too.
But did you see yourself doing this? Because like I alluded to, you kind of started in a different career, and Jason's not aware of this, but some people are. And so when was the moment that you allowed yourself, and just walk us through what that career was briefly, if you don't mind, if it's okay.
I mean, I was a firefighter in the early 80s.
Wow, really?
But I had been trying to be an actor, and actually I tried my hand at stand-up. So it's not like I, was a firefighter who then decided to become an actor. I was already, kind of a flailing stand-up and wannabe actor who had taken the fire department test when I was 18, and they didn't get to my name. My name was on a list, and they called me when I was like, I was 22, I think, when I was called, and then I was like, I'm going nowhere with this showbiz stuff. So I I joined the fire department.
And you fought fires for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I was at Engine 55 in Manhattan.
In New York.
Yeah,
That's
in New
amazing.
York. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
And it should be noted that you also rejoined briefly after 9/11. Is that true? I heard that.
Well, I didn't rejoin. I went down to my old firehouse on Broome Street because I knew that they were there, that they had been at the site, and I couldn't get any information. So on the 12th, I went there and I brought my turnout gear, my coat and helmet and boots and gloves.
That's amazing.
And I was brought into the site by another firefighter, and he told me about the guys that were missing in the company, and one was a good friend of mine. And anyway, I went down to the site, and I was able to find my company there because they had lost members. They had access to like the main pile that was still burning.
Right.
And
this is the day after.
I got to work with them, for the rest of the week. This was on a
wow, man.
And were
Wednesday
were these guys you kept in touch with, and you were they still in the same?
No, I mean there were some that there were some guys that I recognized who I used to work with, but by and large it was all new guys, and I didn't know them, but I got to know them during the week, and since then I've stayed in touch. And now every year on 9/11, I attend the breakfast at the firehouse with the families, and then there's a mass service, and then there's a lunch, and there's also bar time in there.
Sure.
They are firefighters. So there is a fair amount of drinking at Tony's bar. Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, and Sean, you've supported too. You bought a calendar every year, right?
Yeah.
So.
Steve,
we love that.
Thank you, I never miss a year. Yeah. I do what I can.
Steve, how did firefighting find you at a young age? Was your dad involved with any of that stuff?
My dad was a sanitation worker. He worked in Brooklyn, and he did that for 30 years. And so he just knew the civil service, like what that job meant, the benefits.
Yeah. The whole apparatus that keeps that city moving.
Yeah. And, the pay is good and you get good benefits. And he always, he knew I wanted to become an actor, but he would tell me, just put in your 20 years and then you can do all the acting you want. I was like, that doesn't really work that way, but I tried it.
Because meanwhile,
put in your 20.
Yeah.
Put in your 20. Just put in your 20, retire at half pay, and then do all the acting you want.
Right.
He was noticing that you were leaning towards acting. Is that because you were taking classes as a young kid? Were you doing it at school?
I think he kind of knew it, that I had it in me since I was a little kid, because when I was really little, I used to just make up stories and tell jokes. If we were at a cousin's wedding, I would stand up on a table and just do a stand-up routine.
That's funny.
And I'm sure it was stupid, but I was 5 or 6, so they. And then I've talked about this before. When I was in 4th grade, my teacher, Mr. Riccobono, he cast me in a production of The Wizard of Oz. I got to play the Cowardly Lion, and I thought, this is it. If I never do anything else after this, I was so happy. And when I was on stage, it was that feeling of, wow, people are enjoying this, and they're laughing, and I'm,
That'd be a good role for you, JB.
Yeah, Cowardly Lion.
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do it.
He's got the hair for it.
Wait, so
he does have the mane.
Was mom or dad somebody who was outgoing and sort of who was leading for you at that moment? Like, who's your North Star? Was it mom or dad?
In their own ways, both. My mom was the one when we were young who used to take us to the movies and see musicals and comedies, and then when I was a teenager, a little bit even younger, my dad would take us to the movies, and we'd see things like Across 110th Street and Cotton Comes to Harlem, and movies I just shouldn't have been seeing like that. But but it was great.
Yeah.
And my dad, he had a good friend growing up in East New York named Peter Miller, who became an actor. And he went to the neighborhood playhouse, and he was in movies with Cassavetes, and he was in Robert Altman's first film, The Delinquents. And then but he did it for a few years, and then he left, and he became an investment banker. So by the time I, was old enough to talk to him, he had left acting, but I still, it was like, Uncle Pete, and he lives in Kenton, California, and I was like, someday I'm going to make it to California, and Uncle Pete's going to show me the ropes.
Right.
So there was that, but really, in junior high and high school, I didn't do any theater. I kind of became a jock and did sports.
What were you playing?
I played soccer and a little bit of track, but wrestling was my big sport that I really loved. And then it wasn't until my senior year that I started to do the plays in high school. And I had another great teacher, Lynn Lappin. He was the English teacher, but he started the first acting class. And so I got to be in Fiddler on the Roof, and just it was really fun. And
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was that first trip out to LA like? Was there one?
Yeah, my Uncle Pete and Charlene, his wife, they lived in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And
beautiful
so
out there.
I stayed with them, but I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car, and he would go off to work, and I'd just be like, I want to see LA. I didn't know, but I didn't know how to do it.
Oh, you like 115 degrees with no trees?
So no car in Van Nuys. So you just started hoofing it and enjoying, the fruits
beautiful.
of Woodman Avenue and
Woodman.
Sherman Way.
But I think it was on that. I think it was on that trip because I had done a film called Parting Glances in New York, and I went out to LA to try and meet casting people, and my friend Kathy Kinney, who was in that film, she was taking meetings, and she would just bring me along. Like, she would pick me up and bring me along to these meetings. And some people were okay, like, oh, you brought a friend.
Yeah.
She's like, but he's a really good actor. You should see him too.
Yeah.
But mostly I think they were like, well, who is this guy? Like, why did you bring him?
Yeah, that rarely goes down well. They're like, oh, well, of course, let's meet your friend.
Well, and then so those first few experiences, were you kind of freestyling, or were you coming with a certain amount of training that you were leaning on, or are you more of an instinctual kind of guy?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Really,
Yeah.
I just did not know. I remember when I first got a manager and I was going out on meetings, and the feedback that he was getting was, he's kind of so deadpan, and he's like, he doesn't seem like he wants to be here. He just is so quiet and
Sounds good. Yeah.
So then I went to, I remember the first time I met Bonnie Timmerman, big casting agent. I went in smiling. And the first thing she said to me was, what are you smiling for? I was like, well, now I don't know what to do. Like,
Right.
She thought I was laughing at something. I was like, no, I was told to smile. So I'm
I'm
sorry.
in there looking crazy.
That's funny.
And we will be right back.
And now back to the show.
So you kind of figure it out, though. Like, you do a bunch of different parts. I mean, you do sort of 8-10 movies maybe before Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
And you do a bunch of different, varying degree, bigger roles, and et cetera. But that must have been kind of a seminal moment, if I'm guessing right. And talk a little bit about how that came into your world and what it was like first meeting Quentin Tarantino.
So the script came to me from one of my early agents, Nancy Green, who has since passed away, but she was really great. And I have to back up the story because a year before that, or maybe 6 months before that, she convinced me to go on an audition for, it was a Neil Simon comedy, and I don't even remember what film it was for. but I really didn't want to go. And she said, no, just go. You can meet the casting director, Ronnie Eskel, and just, I want to, okay. I went, and there were other actors there, and they put us in like a group scene. We were improvising, and it was fun. And then, but, I left, and I didn't get the, whatever part that I was auditioning for, and forgot about it. And then I got the script for Reservoir Dogs from Nancy, and I loved it. And I the first time I met Quentin was on the phone, and hearing his voice, I was just shocked because I thought I was going to be talking to like an ex-convict who was like in his 50s or something.
Yeah, right.
And instead it was like, hey man, thanks for reading my script. Thanks a bunch. I'm really excited. And I was like, wait, are you Quentin Tarantino? Yeah, man. I was like, it didn't match up. And but he was so excited and so enthused. And I auditioned for it twice. And then I did the workshop for it in Sundance. And it was Quentin and I, and this is, I guess, typical Quentin fashion. He tells me I got the part of Mr. Pink as we were in the bathroom. We're in the bathroom together. And he said, oh, by the way, I cast you as Mr. Pink. I went, oh, what? Oh, really? He says, yeah.
Wow.
And he says, yeah, and it wasn't really based on your audition. He said, but Ronnie Eskel showed me a tape of when you auditioned for that Neil Simon movie.
Wow.
I go, but that was a comedy. Like, what did you see in me that you thought? He goes, well, because you had on like a vintage shirt and your hair was slicked back and you looked like a criminal. And that was just how I dressed. That was just me.
Just rolling out of bed.
Yeah.
No way.
And so thank God I went on that audition. You know?
Yes.
That's cool.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing
Oh, wow.
how those things kind of work? Like that you just never know.
It is.
And was that? Would you say that film or any of the films around that started to solidify for you what you were confident in doing? And I guess the question is, at what point did you start to really kind of just dig into your style, quote unquote, or what your confidence was? What I have is going to work. What I have is going to take me into something that I can make a living and also can be creatively fulfilled. Like, when did you get that feeling of I've got what I think it takes, and I like that they're hiring me for this type of thing?
I mean, that film, Reservoir Dogs, had a lot to do with opening doors for sure, and it did a lot for my confidence. Just being cast in a movie with Harvey Keitel and having scenes with Harvey was, that was like a dream. I never thought that would be possible, and then getting to meet, and work with actors like Tim Roth and Michael Madsen, who we sadly lost. And meeting Eddie Bunker, who was an ex-convict and, wrote the movie Straight Time that was based on his book, and Runaway Train. And so it was just exciting to be with these people, and Chris Penn and the whole cast. So just having done the movie was a huge confidence boost. And then, Quentin did us all a big favor by that credit sequence of having us, walk in the parking lot, and our names were underneath our faces, like as we were walking. Because before that, it was like, who's this guy? Who's, like if my name was mentioned, you couldn't put a face to the name.
Sure.
Now, at least people could. And I had something to show, like if I was up for something and they wanted to see what I did, that was the film.
Yeah.
And so that opened doors. But as far as what my style is or anything, I never know. I feel like I've done so many different kinds of things, and depending on like who I meet, like on the street, if I get recognized, I never know what they. Is it from a Coen Brothers? Is it from Tarantino? Or is it from Adam?
Yeah.
Sandler.
Right.
So some people only kind of know me in that comedic vein, and other people know me from other things. And,
well, that's a tribute to your career. Like, I mean, you're able to do so many different things so well. It must be, you must have a great number of choices in front of you at times, and how do you decide which way you're going to go? Is it based on the people involved? Is it based on the kind of character, that being maybe different than the last one you just played? How are you making your decisions?
I guess it's different each time. Sometimes it's just such a wonderful script, and if it's an independent film and it's a young filmmaker that's starting to come up, and I love doing that type of work.
Oh wow!
And then other times it is, it's the people who are involved, but it really is the material. I mean, I try and, go for the material first.
The script as a whole, or your particular character?
As a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole. I mean, it used to be, there was a time when I would read a script and they'd say what character, and I would just flip the pages to see when the character would be killed. I swear. It was just like, okay. Oh, I made it to page 39. Okay. I think
would it be like where the character was killed, or would it also be like where the character can really score? Would you look at that and go like, oh, this is a good scene. This is, what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's that stuff where, like, if it's a good dramatic part, or there was like a good scene, but yeah, mainly I would either get beat up, or I would be chasing somebody with a knife, and then eventually get killed, and it went that way for a while. Yeah.
You and so we touched on it, Jason. You just said too. You did so many different, not just so many different characters, but so many different kinds of, size of films. You've done these huge Hollywood films, and you've done these really small. In fact, you made the seminal independent film "Living in Oblivion" with our mutual friend Tom DiCillo.
Yes,
which is about making an independent film, which is one of my favorites. And then you just said that you like working with young up and coming directors. Is it that you like the feeling of being part of that vibe of somebody who's just finding their way and exploring? Is that exciting to you? Is that what it is?
It's I really love that. And I'm so happy that I was part of Quentin's first film. He that was, I think, really exciting for all of us to see somebody like him. And he had such confidence in what he was doing that's what I think blew all of us away. That he
it was such a clear point of view.
So that kind of energy is contagious. It just makes you feel good about being in this business.
And not knowing you very well, Steve, is like, I get a sense from you that you're, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you're filled with gratitude and appreciation for working and where you are in life as an actor. Like, I can't ever see you being a problem on any set ever, or having an issue. Like, there's certain, there's many, many types of actors, and a lot of them can't wait to share all of their ideas and and come to set with, there's those types, and then there's other types that are just like, yes, I've studied my role, I have a few ideas, but you're in charge. Like, where do you fall?
I think I fall into, I've worked with so many different directors, and I like to see what their style is and how I can be accommodating. And since I've been directing, I'm even more so, because now I know what directors go through. A lot of the times they're just trying to make the day, right? Just and you don't want to.
Yeah, we talk with Jason about it all the time, because I always ask Jason about the difference between being on either side. So, and you have that too now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, why would I come through this door? Like, don't you think I should? It's like, not, okay, where do you want me to come through? Okay, good. Like, I could figure out my own motivation, like, if you want me to, or if you want me to do this. And it's only when something really doesn't feel right, like if I can't find my way around, like, organically, why I'm doing something, or if the blocking feels off, then I'll say something, but generally, I just like to show up and kind of do it. Yeah.
Right.
As a director, have you had those moments where you've had to say, just come through the fucking door, man?
Yeah.
Just
right.
Why the door? Because it's the only door that we have. And you need to come into the scene. So we need you in here to do the scene.
Right.
That's
Right.
Have you had those moments?
I really can't think of anybody who was like that way with me, and I've had moments, but I and being an actor, I always like to see what the actor will come up with. If I have time to like rehearse something properly, which you don't always, I like to see what the actors do naturally, and then try and and then block the scene. Sometimes you don't have that luxury. You just want to get in there and say, okay, the actors aren't here yet. Let's see if we can get them to be this one here, and then we can shoot it.
Right. So you're like, we're already set up for this, so this is how it's going to go. But JB, have you ever had that where you've had to kind of like just go, fucking just do it, man?
Just do it, yeah.
I mean, 1,000 times, because
Really?
Because I personally, I'm such a fan of what the camera can do to help the audience understand what the scene is about. So oftentimes I'll have a huge plan already worked out about what the coverage is going to be, and that means that people have to be in certain spots. And so I'll try to encourage the actors to make a friend of that blocking. But if they aren't comfortable with it, I can pivot for sure. But Steve, with all the incredible set experience that you have, and the number of fantastic directors that you've worked with, it's interesting to me to hear you say that you gravitate towards new directors at times, because it seems like you'd often be in a situation where that director might be drowning in the unforeseen complications of any day, and you might get frustrated with like, oh my God, this is it's frustrating for you to have been on so many sets that work so well, to then be sort of extending your patience and your experience to help out a young director. I find that just so generous of you, and is it taxing?
But I don't really find the frustration that I do sometimes feel with the person who is directing. Yeah. I've just been on so many sets over the years. I get frustrated with maybe like, why did they bring me in this early? Or why are they shooting
this first?
That's the first
AD you're yelling at.
Why are they, and so, and especially on, Boardwalk Empire was the first time I had played a character like, repeatedly, and for however many seasons that we did, 5. And towards the end, I think I did start to, be the guy that wouldn't, like they'd call me to set, and I would just go, all right, I'm just going to sit here for another 10 minutes until they really need me. But then that kind of like, then they're like, well, he's not coming out. So now they would call me even earlier, the next time. But I love doing that show,
Well, you must love, well, you tell me, do you love directing? I'll bet you do.
In theory, it makes me the most anxious. Like when I direct, I get so anxious that I'm beside myself.
About
and I don't do it enough. I just feel like I'm insecure. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know about camera stuff. See, that's my weakness is that I'll come on set and I'll say, and I'll say to the DP, I'm thinking, how about if we do this and that, and the DP will say, well, the light's coming in this way, and this is, and I would go, oh yeah, right, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's, and now I just
gotta go talk to the actor,
look to the DP and go, what do we do? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
A lot, and I find 8 out of 10 directors work like that. Don't you find that? A lot of directors would just sort of punt all the camera stuff to the DP and the operator, and then they go and they work with the actors, which is a great way to do it as well. There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, there are, but I get so jealous of directors when they say to the DP, so what do you think, of 40? You thinking of 35? And I'm like, what are they talking? Like, why don't I know this? Why don't I know
Whatever you're doing it just right. Keep going.
Of all the genres you've done, is there any genre, is there a genre that you haven't done that you want to do, or is there a genre that you have done and that you will never do again?
Yeah.
I mean, I really haven't done horror. I've done like a little bit. There's some TV shows back in the day, like Tales from the Crypt, and there was a show called Monsters, and but I've never done like a horror movie, but I don't know if I could. I'm pretty squeamish, and I don't like prosthetic makeup. Like I've done that in the past. And
like sitting in the chair for 5 hours.
sitting in the chair, yeah. So,
But your ability to ground violence is awesome.
That's
I
great.
just
Oh,
that's a good way to
love
put it.
watching you deal with the unsettling unpredictability of violence coming on someone that is just normal. That's a bit eccentric, but like living in our world. Like you ground violence very well to a point where, oh my God, that's really shocking because it seems like it's really happening to someone in our real world. I mean, Fargo's top 3 films I've ever seen in my life. I've seen it more than any other film.
Yeah.
So good.
And just your way, not only just the violence that you deal with in that film, but even just your line of work in that film too. You know that there's a grounded sense of here's a guy who's dealing with the underbelly of society, but he's not super comfortable with it. But he's got to make a living, and here we go. And
it's kind of matter of fact almost.
Oh, it's so exciting to follow somebody like you through an eccentric storyline because you just ground it all. You know who we are. I love that.
Well, thank you. And that film was, that was another seminal one for me because I had, worked with the Coen brothers a few times before that, but then in that film, they really gave me a part that was throughout the film, and I loved it. And I loved that character, kind of, thinking he's, smarter than he really is, but he had a certain kind of confidence, that he could,
so funny.
Well, especially
funny.
the way you interrelate with your cohort there, Peter
Stormare,
yeah. I just love that sort of alpha beta thing you guys had going, where you're the smartest guy in the world when it's just the two of you guys, and then you get thrown out amongst the other characters, and you're in trouble.
You with a bloody face getting angry at everybody around you just made me pee my pants.
How many films did you do with the Coen brothers? Because you mentioned it. You've worked with them before. You worked with them. You did Big Lebowski was after that, right?
Was after Fargo, yeah.
Yeah, which is weird. I always think of it as being before, but it was after.
That was their follow-up to Fargo, which was kind of amazing because they had finally broken into the mainstream because Fargo was nominated, right? So now, everybody was seeing this film. And we're starting to really, get to know the Coen brothers in a mainstream way. And then they follow up with this film that I remember when it came out, people really didn't know what to make of it. It took a good 5 years for people to catch on.
Could it have a bigger cult following? I don't know if a film could have a bigger cult following than Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
And now back to the show.
And now actors are lucky enough if you're in one hit anything, one hit play, TV show. Yeah. And you've had all of these things that you've been a part of that are hit after hit after hit, just kind of extraordinary. Are you able to allow yourself to appreciate that and be like, I'm kind of proud of I'm proud of what I've done. I mean, of course you are. You don't have to say it out loud, but or are you one of the people that kind of deflects?
Say it out loud.
I mean, or can you absorb that? Because it's very rare for somebody to be in that many hit things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of it, and I feel very grateful for it. And at the same time, I feel like I haven't been in, I've never done a Marvel movie. Right. I've never done I haven't done
big popcorn things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did Armageddon and Con Air were my two big movies that I did in the 90s. But I really haven't done stuff like that so much since. But I don't care. I mean, I'm very happy with
that's kind of what I'm saying.
Things are going.
You lend so much credibility and artistic rigor to those films. That was a very nice thing you did for those couple of films. And I'll bet you could do that a ton more if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. I bet Marvel would have you in a second. But you're just such actor and director, catnip.
Yeah.
I hope you're as proud as you deserve to be about, the position that you hold in this community. It's so well earned, Steve. And
well, thank you. And coming from you and all you guys, it just means so much to me because I really
you've had some pretty memorable deaths on screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have a favorite? Is there a favorite Steve Buscemi manner of dying?
My favorite was in The Big Lebowski, just literally being scared to death.
Yeah.
It made no sense. Like when I read the script, I was like, I think I'm going to make it through this one. I think, and it's like, what? Why? He's dead,
Yeah.
You also, that's so good. Have you also mentioned that you improvised in that audition that Quentin saw you in, and I'm sure you've improvised in a lot of movies. And I know you've had the opportunity of working with so many great writers who've written, and you've mentioned so many great pieces of material. But has there ever been an improvised line? I always wanted to know, like, is there something in a movie somewhere that you're like proud of that you improvised and that made it in the movie, and you're like, oh yeah,
yeah. Well, actually, in Armageddon. I mean, Michael Bay let us, improvise a lot. I mean, we would do the scene, but then the one thing I remember when I was sitting on the nuclear weapon, and I just and I said something. I was like, "No nukes, no nukes." Like that was just from me, and it made it into the movie.
God, that movie was so huge then. That was such a massive hit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, Steve, with all of the stuff that you've done and all the directors that you've worked with and the parts that you've played, aside from Marvel, is there something that you hope to do sometime soon, and that can be as an actor or as a director? Are you looking to maybe direct one of those big sort of popcorn, big pieces of business things, or act in one of those?
I've never really had a plan for and I've been I mean we all get asked like what's your dream role or what would you, or if
or to work with somebody, a director,
or to work with somebody, and I get superstitious about I've never worked with so and so, and I feel like if I say it out loud,
that makes sense.
Although sometimes you say it out loud and it happens.
That's true
because they hear it.
True.
What about theater? Have you? I apologize for not knowing, but have you?
No,
don't
that's
take
okay.
Sean, and apologize for taking Sean's question, but go ahead, Jason, ask it.
Sean will have the follow-up about anything funny that happened on stage. But what do you enjoy doing that, or does it take too much time off of your availability?
Yeah, I mean, I used to do in the '80s when I lived in the East Village, which was like an amazing place and time to live. I had a partner, Mark Boone Jr., who you guys may know. He's done a lot of great work. And a lot of people know him from Sons of Anarchy. He played the character of Bobby.
Oh, I know Mark.
Didn't you work with Boone? I think?
I did.
Yeah,
I did work with him.
Yeah,
he did Flaked. He did our show Flaked. Yeah,
yes.
He's terrific.
He's
God,
great.
what a great actor.
We used to write and perform our own like short sketches and some plays and that was I think I never felt more creative as when I was doing that working with him and then working with other I worked a little bit with the Wooster Group, another playwright director, John Jezerin, and I did a lot of that stuff then. And then when I sort of transitioned into film, I just felt like I was spoiled by like all the great people and fun that I had doing that in the '80s. It was hard for me to make a transition into like they want me to do what? How many shows a week? I think the 8 shows a week thing is like
the
dumbest
brutal.
thing in the world. Yeah,
it's brutal. And then I was just I guess I just sort of kept myself open for like film and TV stuff. The last play that I did was over 20 years ago, but it was amazing. It was Simon McBurney directed it, and it was Arturo Ui. And Al Pacino played Arturo.
There you go.
It had
There you go,
an
Sean.
Big star
amazing
this
cast, and it was a star-studded cast.
And you were supposed to do something with Oscar Isaac, right? Around the pandemic?
We were gonna do, it was Three Sisters, yeah.
Oh, Three Sisters, right. I remember
And
reading about that.
the pandemic,
That was going to be the original title of our podcast.
yeah.
It was taken.
It was taken. It was
The
taken.
pandemic put that on hold, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
But I've tried to do some things over the years, but it just never worked out.
So we mentioned that how much you work, and again, like how many roles you've done, and it's that it's obviously you're busy a lot. Where you work a lot. You must. I don't know if it feels like you work a lot, but you do.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. So what do you do? Are you East Coast based? Or are you West Coast based most of the time?
I'm East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, East Coast, New York. Yeah, and then what's a day? If you're not on set, you're not working on something. What's an average day for Steve Buscemi? You wake up and you have you're a coffee, tea, matcha. What are you doing?
Definitely coffee, black coffee in the morning.
Black coffee.
Just read the Times or whatever news feed is on my phone and do that, and then
the Post.
I don't do I do yoga. We do yoga on the weekends.
Nice.
For a little while, I was working out, but I'm not. Yeah,
but are you walking around? Are you going to lunch? Are you going to read books? Are you going to museums?
Yeah,
Are you watching reality TV?
No, I don't watch reality TV. I mean, I catch up on shows and movies, and I like doing that. And I like hanging out with friends and visiting my mom, who's 92 now, and she lives now like a block away from me. And
amazing.
But it's a pretty sort of uneventful life that I lead.
Sounds pretty good.
No, but that sounds like a power down. Like you need to have kind of like quiet time where you kind of do nothing a little bit.
What's your drink of choice?
My wine. Yeah.
Oh, wine. Red, white, rosé?
Red wine. Red wine.
Red wine. There you go.
Wine.
All right.
Yes.
It's pretty classy.
It's good to know.
Hey, Will, I have to ask you this.
Yeah, please.
Do you remember when we were both nominated for 30 Rock? Do you remember we were sitting next to each other at the
Emmys?
It was the Emmys that happened like before
The creative Emmys.
the creative.
Yeah, the creative Emmys.
Because we were both nominated for 30 Rock, and we were sitting next to each other, and so was Tim Conway.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Wait a second.
Do you remember this? And we didn't say a word to each other. I think we were both kind of like nervous to talk to each other.
I was nervous to talk to you.
I was nervous to talk to you, and I had just right before that I had introduced myself to Betty White, who was there, and as I was walking away from her, I heard her say to a friend, "Who was that?" So I think then I was like, "All right, I'm not going to say hi to anybody."
Steve,
and we sat there, and
Yes.
and so when they got to our category. It's Tim Conway. I mean, we're up, I think we both knew. Yeah. Before they announced his name, he ran up on stage. Do you remember this?
way.
Which I thought was such a brilliant move.
Good.
Because win or lose, it was great. It was so,
He did that. You know what's funny? Steve, I do remember that. That's so crazy. I totally blanked on that.
Did he end up winning?
He did win.
He did win.
He
did win.
Of course he won.
He did win. But what he had done was, if you remember, in the 70s, he originated that bit that they kind of they tried to copy years later for actress in a comedy. He originated the bit in 1975. I know it was that year because it was the year Chevy Chase was nominated for SNL, so it was like 75, 76. And they started listing off the nominees, and they go, Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy, Tim Conway. And he walked up. And then each nominee walked up as if they had won.
Oh, that's really
Just when
funny.
they do the list of nominees, and then they
That's so
stood there,
funny.
and then Chevy Chase ended up winning, but they were all standing on stage. So I love that he years later extended that bit, and of course I remember that. It was so fucking crazy.
And then when he took his, he kind of bowed and then pretended that he stabbed himself with the award and kind of walked off holding his heart, And I was like, oh my God.
Was there anybody funnier than Tim Conway?
No, I know.
so
It's just, I was so excited to meet him. And
He one time, I saw a bit one time where he and Harvey Korman Harvey Korman gets announced. He either won or was announced to come to the stage. And he was wearing tails. And Tim Conway went and jumped on his tails and literally rode his coattails down the aisle. It was such a brilliant, just working on so many different levels. Oh, God.
Love
30
it.
Rock. 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
I
Everybody
know.
remembers.
I
memories.
missed that show. Yeah, that was
know.
so much fun to work on.
So your new show's coming out next. Well,
Comes
whatever
out
it is.
soon.
I should know this. This is my
I should know it
obligation.
too.
August 6th, which is
Thank
my
you.
son's
Yes.
birthday. So now I really remember.
happy
It's one
birthday
of
to
my
your
son's
son.
birthdays. And then, so what do we got in store for the rest of the summer, Steve? What are we
So
looking to?
right now I'm working with Adam Sandler is producing a movie. He's producing 2 movies that his daughters are in. So Sonny is in one film that I'm doing called Don't Say Good Luck, and Sadie is doing a film called Roommates.
Wow.
And last night was the premiere for Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh,
That's
right.
I'm in that as well, and that
Oh,
was
that's
so much fun
great.
seeing that film. And we watched it again. Like I watched the first one in the afternoon yesterday, just so I would be up on all the references. And they did it. It was just so satisfying and so funny. Yeah.
I'm sure, and I think that people maybe, and you can testify to this, and we all can. There's almost not a nicer guy or better dude in the world than Adam Sandler.
See,
Right?
I differ. Everybody, this monster,
Yeah.
you got everybody fooled.
God, I mean, he's the nicest man. He's the sweetest guy, and on top of being so funny and everything, so talented, he's such a good dude.
You really are.
And he's so smart.
So smart.
I mean, I've worked with him since Airheads, right? Like that was the first thing that we did together.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And then he was talking to us on set about how he wanted to like do his own film. And Robert Simons, who was one of the producers on Airheads, took him up on it and produced Billy Madison. And Adam asked me to do like a small thing in that, and it was so much fun. But to watch Adam over the years, because his friends used to show up on set, and just hang out. And then each movie I've done with him, I notice, oh, those friends are now in the movies. Those friends are his writers. Those friends are his producers.
Yeah.
He's so, not only is he loyal to them, but and that's what I mean by smart. He knows what brings out the best in him, and he knows that they will bring, like gold. And so, and he makes movies that he wants to see. I don't think Adam ever makes something that he's trying to, find an audience for. It's stuff that he really wants to see. That he thinks is funny.
Yeah, he really does. He champions people, and also like you, he's so diverse and has so many different gears.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. And,
I was so happy for him that when he started doing dramatic roles, and I was so pissed off at myself that I hadn't written something dramatic for him, first, because I could see it in him. And I used to tell him that.
What was it first? Punch
He's
Drunk
an
Love?
amazing musician. Yeah, Punch Drunk Love was the first one I think that really kind of where people started to see him in a different light. And then of course with Uncut Gems. Come on.
Yeah, forget it.
incredible.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, what an absolute delight. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
this is
that
great.
that you and I didn't speak to each other at the Emmys all those years
Made up
ago.
for today,
We
Willie.
did exchange a few words. It was
We
like
had
very,
a few, but we didn't really go deep. But,
But
we were
no,
both
no, we
losers. We
Yeah,
weren't
I
just
know.
losers that night. And but what a thrill to have you, man! It just honestly, just such a.
I'm so excited
thrill.
to have met you, Steve.
Thank you so much. It's
thank you
such
for
an honor
doing
for
this.
me to be with you guys.
And
love what you do.
Wednesday on Netflix, August 6th. We'll look forward to it. Season 2 of Wednesday. Steve, just sending you lots of love and all the best of luck and continued success. You're just the greatest.
Thank
For
you, and
sure.
sending love and all the success to you guys too.
Thank
I
you,
love
pal.
what you do. So thank you.
Thanks,
thank
pal.
you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
buddy.
you, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
summer.
you, the great Steve Buscemi. Thank you, Steve.
Bye, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
How about that guy?
Talking about a guy who's done it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. I'm a little kind of in shock there. I
I know.
That's
Yeah,
a
when
guy
I
I'm
did-
just
it-
like such a enormous fan of his, and
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, he just seems like a guy I always thought I would never ever be able to meet. You know, it's just like one of those guys that like zero circles I know or that I'm in.
He just lives like in a cool zone. Like,
yeah,
you know,
he's
over
not
there.
out there fucking cutting ribbons at markets and premieres and shit like that. Like he's just like,
cutting ribbons.
you know, if I got lucky enough to maybe be in a project with him, but you know, what are the odds?
Wait, are you spending time with a lot of ribbon cutters?
Oh yeah, I bring my own scissors. You know, I'm a germaphobe, so. But
He
you
is
know,
good, Willie. When you announced him on when you were revealing and Jason guessed it, I was like right away, and I was like, oh yeah. And he came on. It's one of those people like Jay just said, like, oh my god, it would be so cool to hang out with him. And oh, we're hanging out with him. Like
I know.
You know?
I know. It's such a thrill.
What a
It's such
fucking
thrill.
talent. And talk about, what he lends each project, and you know he's in the cast list.
I agree.
It's like, okay, so they're not fucking around on this film.
Raises all boats. Right?
I didn't.
Like
Yeah. And I didn't know he did stand up, like like I did.
You should have tried some of your stand up.
Oh, I have some.
Oh, do you?
Shoot. Yeah,
oh,
okay,
really?
Sean, do
Oh,
you want anything you're workshopping?
Yeah, let's hear
Do
it.
what did the sushi say to the bee?
Huh. Give me a second here.
Oh, Shay. Wasabi.
That you really got JP with that one.
Oh, because there's a lot in there that is close to my heart. You know,
Right.
the mock bro talk,
Right.
and
The pun.
and the underused sushi mustard. You know,
Right,
I just
right.
don't think gets a fair shake in this world. And then bees, of course. They're my arch
Bees.
nemesis. Bees.
Bees?
Do you want one more? Do you want one more?
Of course we do.
Okay. What does an Irishman call 66% of a piece of poo?
Huh. Oh, that's 2/3 of something. 2/3.
That's right.
Oh, that's
There
good.
we go.
Nice, JB.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, you guys.
two-thirds.
Look at this.
Yeah,
Two-thirds. Well, that's like a combination. That's like a
Here we go.
hybrid of a
Here we go.
hybrid.
Sean, get it.
What's the opposite of a hybrid? I can't even think of it.
Gas burning?
No, that would be a hybrid. That would be a hybrid.
Vibrant? No,
That's
no,
not a
at
thing.
all.
Why?
No,
Yeah, but that's
no. What are you fucking talking about?
it's like a hybrid joke of two.
Well, how about
like
maybe
a
you were going towards
hybrid.
you got those airplanes with the jets, and then the other planes that don't have the jets.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Those are
So like
Bye.
bye.
SmartLess.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Rob Armjarv, Bennett Barbaco, and Michael Granteri.
SmartLess.